The Muslim Judicial Council is leading a march with various other organizations and political parties in Cape Town against the continued clashes in the Middle East. The groups want tougher actions against Israel in particular. To find out why, let's bring in our reporter Vanessa Poonah. Very good afternoon. Good day to you, Vanessa. Take us through what's happening where you are.
Yes, a very warm good morning to you, and we are standing here outside the Muir Street Mosque in District 6 where people are starting to gather from various political parties as well as the Al-Quds Foundation. Joining me in a short while, we will speak to Imam Fahim Isaacs in terms of today's march, but of course we do know that the mass action planned for today follows a similar march in Cape Town yesterday, all in condemnation of the violence and the conflict that has been happening in the Middle East, Palestine and Israel to be exact. If I can just turn to you now, Imam, very briefly. I know that generally since the 1970s, on the last Friday of Ramadan, usually the Quds March takes place all over the world and here in Cape Town. This didn't happen last Friday, but today you are out here. Yesterday the march as well, and of course we've seen an escalation of tensions in that region over the past few days. Deadly strikes happening there. Can you just tell us, in terms of today's protest action, we know that there's been calls for South African government to act strongly against Israel. What exactly are you calling for with this protest march today?
Right. Thank you once again for allowing us, give us the opportunity on SABC. Rightfully, as you have laid out, the last Friday every year of the month of Ramadan, we have Al-Quds Day, but that is different compared to what we are here and the responsibility that we have as human beings towards the plight and the help of the Palestinian people, the struggling what is happening today. The onslaught is an ongoing thing since 1948 already, and this is where we go back with the Palestinian people for having lost and the land been taken away from them. The onslaught now, and what we have seen, atrocities that has happened now in the Haram of Al-Quds, which is the third and the first Qibla of the Muslim, the direction of praying, and it's the third holiest mosque for the Muslims. And obviously the Al-Quds and the surrounding and everything, it's been a city where Muslim, Christians and the Jews has been living in harmony for decades, you understand. But what we have seen, what is happening in this particular Haram of Al-Quds, the atrocities happen, desecrating of the holy place of worship for that matter. And obviously that brings tension, to Muslim community in particular, because it's a place of worship, people praying, and what a particular month, the month of fasting. And how significant this happened just prior to the day of the most holiest night for a Muslim, and that is the night of Laylatul Qadr. So yes, we are here today to show our solidarity with the Palestinian people, number one. Number two is to show out, and raising our voices in what has happened, that we are not happy as human beings in this part of the city of Cape Town, southern part of Africa in particular, and looking what is happening in that part of the world. We are with those Palestinian people and have been with them for decades already. It's not only now, it's our support has been there for them, like I said, since 1948, and we will be in Arabic we are calling it Al-Aqsa fil Khatar. Al-Aqsa is in danger. That means another one is it's fire, it's burning, as your viewers have seen how it's burned, and it's also not the first time. So yes, we are here to show our solidarity with the people of Palestine. Al-Quds Foundation SA International is not only a South African-based organization. The Al-Quds Foundation SA is international, that we are directly linked to the head office in Beirut for that matter. So we are responsible for things what is happening to the head office. So we are only carrying on waiting for orders in the sense of directives, what we need to do and how things go about here.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned what is happening, but of course there is a call for South Africa and the government to take a stronger stance. Can you just elaborate on exactly what you would like from government with regards to this ongoing historical fight taking place in Palestine?
Yes, indeed. We all support everybody who raises their voices in plight in support of the Palestinian people. We with them. Today you will see various different organizations that is coming on board. They're joining us with this march. If we have government that stands with us, yes, indeed, that is good for us. But what we need to remember is the Palestinian people is calling out there for help, for assistance. The suffering of them has been gone for decades. Yes, we need their help, we need assistance from wherever, all over the world. But what we need to understand is that the city, or the old city in particular, is a city of three dominations, of three faiths. As I mentioned earlier, Islamic faith, the Christian faith, and the Jewish faith. It is what we need to require from government in particular to make or to take a more firmer step in support of the Palestinian people, because we want to see things happening from our side as South Africans, because the Palestinian people has been with us during the apartheid regime, with the struggle for decades, and they assisted us, they helped us. So now in return, it is our duty to make sure that we in support of the Palestinians.
Just one last thing. I know you're going to march from here to Parliament, and when you say firm action, can you spell out for us exactly what that firm action is?
Yeah, firm action, we mean we need to recall. Government need to recall the ambassador, in that particular lens of the Jewish. We need to remove all of the old ties that is there, that is happening now. We need that to come to a stop. There needs to be firmer action, because our people here, not, like I said, not only Muslims, all of mankind, those who really have the belief, those who really has that feeling for what is happening, of all faith. This is what we need to understand, is that people are crying. As the Palestinian people are crying, people here in the southern tip of Africa is crying, because enough is enough. It's time that we by now need to free Palestinians by the hands of occupations.
Imam Fahim Isaacs, thank you so much for speaking to us there from the Al-Quds Foundation, just one of a host of organizations as well as political parties and members of the public coming together here at the Muir Street Mosque this morning in District 6 ahead of that planned march, which is scheduled to take off at 11 o'clock this morning to Parliament, where we expect people to make addresses, and this of course calling on the South African government to cut all diplomatic ties with Israel in light of the conflict we've seen happening in that region.
Vanessa, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed here. And now to take the conversation